all aboard the misery train heading towards the World Cup 2018 in Russia, because our misery train is going a different track, and that is not towards Russia. It's towards the nearest bar to drown our sorrows. Scotland will be there, Netherlands will be there, and now the US men's national team will be there after easily the darkest day in US soccer history. All they had to do was draw or beat the bottom team in the league, Trinidad and Tobago, who has a population of about 1.3 million, playing in front of what it looks like a high school stadium with about 25 fans, looked like the Etihad, and they could not even conjure up that result. They go 2-0 down. First goal, Omar Gonzalez on goal, as representative and as symbolic as his dire inclusion in this team can go. He is horrendous, should not be playing centre-back for any amateur team, luckily enough, and he's given the start consistently under Bruce Arena. But that is representative of Bruce Arena. He has these go-to legends that he likes to go to and try to play, or he calls them legends or veterans, but they were veterans when you managed before, mate. So now they're just pushing pensioners, because when you're playing DeMarcus Beasley still consistently for the US men's national team, when I remember when I was like 14 watching him play for Rangers, you know there's a problem. And it's down to the culture, this culture that American soccer fell victim to towards the end of Jurgen Klinsmann. It's this blame game now where I'm kind of playing into it right now with team selection, but does he have that many options? Did Klinsmann have that many options? Yeah, well, you could start by including more of the players that are venturing more so abroad and putting them in the right position. You have to rely on the Fabian Johnsons of the world, the Bobby Woods and the Christian Pulisic's. But you cannot get by with a defence that is that shambolic. You cannot get by when your team is that susceptible to counterattacks. You cannot get by when you cannot beat a team that's bottom of the league, a bottom of the conference. It's so bad, and they did not even have to beat that team. If they tied and Costa Rica was able to beat Panama and Mexico was able to beat Honduras, they still would have went through. Even if they lost and both of those teams lost, they still would have went through. But if you watch the goals that Honduras and Panama managed to conjure up, they lost. They went out of the World Cup. Their dreams are crushed by some of the worst goals I've ever seen in a football game. One that hit Ochoa in the back of the head and went in. Another that Panama literally bulldozed it into the across the line by falling and it hitting someone in the ear and then on the shin, and then it went by and went in. Horrible for the United States to not make a World Cup because of their own shortcomings and really poor goals. So the question that everyone's going to ask is, what's next? Well, I'm just going to probably throw you back to my first video when the US men's national team fired Jurgen Klinsmann, because everyone's like, oh, Klinsmann's shocking, we're playing players out of position. Oh, well, now you get Bruce Arena, who's bringing back all his mates from the old age pensioners exhibit and trying to put them into your defence and trying to hold some sense of stability, and you can't even lock up shop against Trinidad and Tobago. Like, so managerial change, absolutely. You should never have brought Bruce Arena in the first place. I argued that to the back teeth. And it's down to the culture. You need to start investing more so in youth football. Get rid of pay to play. I've done several clips on this. You wonder why you can't develop the same amount of players that basketball are developed. And you've got a window now because American football is becoming more dangerous and people don't want to put their kids into that. You got to tap into that. You got to make football more appealing by removing the ridiculous price tag that there is to play football at a young age, and maybe you'll be able to develop. Bruce Arena came out and said, this is a blemish. A blemish? This is a 12-year-old that's never seen fucking Clearasil. This is the worst thing that you could ever imagine. You have one job: to qualify for the World Cup. The Gold Cup, the Copa America, it all doesn't mean shit if you can't go to a World Cup in a conference that I would give my left leg for Scotland to be able to compete in. Don't call it a blemish. That's just undermining the sheer disastrousness of this. Let me know what you think of the US men's national team's failure to qualify for the World Cup 2018. Comment below. Francis and Maxwell on all platforms. I'll see you soon.